So we told the story yesterday about
Suitgate.
The first prank that I remember being a part of, and that was Mike and Greg, the former host here, who had us drag our suits out to spring training in Port Charlotte.
Convinced us that we were going to some highfalutin dinner with Doug Melvin, the
we were
GM
going to
of the
Petroleum
Rangers.
Club.
Right.
Going to the
You had to wear a suit.
Yes.
It was quite the scam, and it worked, and we brought our suit out there, and we looked like fools and felt like fools. So
because we ended up at a place called Barnacle Bill's, a low-rent captain's platter dive on the side of the highway in suits.
Fried shrimp.
Suit.
Well executed.
Well, we got even multiple times.
Well, the next year was time to exact revenge.
Yes. And so I had the idea of somehow breaking into your room, because back then we shared rooms. Danny and I would share a room. You and Hammer would share a room, Mike. And
this was in a motel.
Oh, yeah. In a beaten down. I mean, it's in Port Charlotte, Florida. It's a beaten down area anyway.
So the access to your room is literally you're outdoors.
Yes.
Think of motel. This is a motel.
Right. And I had the idea of somehow getting in your room and setting up copious amounts of alarms inside of there, which would go off intermittently.
Every 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, starting at about 2 in the morning all the way through 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rob Chickering, who was our engineer at the time, he's like, you know what? Let's go to Walgreens. Let's buy about 15 of those little things that cost about $5-10 each.
Those little battery-operated travel alarm clocks, digital alarm clocks.
Yes.
That was important.
We bought like two-way sticky tape as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we told the maids, I believe the story was that our dad had left his medicine in there.
I think that's exactly what it was.
And she was, was looking at us all fishy. I'm like, look, we got to get it out there to the ballpark immediately or this guy's in trouble.
Because here's the deal. You and I, after the show, we went back to the hotel, but Mike and Greg stayed for the game, as was their wont back then.
Right.
And we just didn't want any part of the game. We wanted to go eat and do stuff and fart around Florida.
So
we had a good 2.5, 3 hour window to execute this.
Right. And we proceeded to put these little alarm clocks everywhere. I mean,
there was one
everywhere.
Taped to a blade of a ceiling fan. There was one taped to the back of the TV set. There's one on the back of the headboard of the bed. There's one up under the drawer inside an end table. There's one inside a lampshade.
Underneath the air conditioning
unit. In the bathroom.
Yes.
Underneath the bathroom
inside the
sink.
medicine cabinet. Just places
everywhere, but hidden. And we set the first one to go off at what? Was it 3, 3:30 or 4?
Sometime between 2 and 3, yeah.
Okay. And we set the first one to go off, say, at 2:30, because I remember we got home that night at about 2:30 after going out to karaoke.
That's right. We wanted to be good and drunk before we got to listen in on the prank.
So every 15 minutes, one would go off.
Yes.
They'd find the first one. It's like, okay, they got us. And then the second one would go off. And the idea was to have these things going off every 15 to 20 minutes until about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right, and they'll give them time within the 15 minutes
break
to go back to sleep,
yeah.
And then immediately be woken up by these things. And we're right outside the door,
yes,
laughing our asses off as we hear these things go off and go off and go off.
But keep in mind, there's one more. The final alarm clock was a big speakery, like a loud speaker alarm clock, like a big one.
Yes.
And we duct taped that thing up, that son of a bitch up well underneath their vanity with their sink, and we set it to blast on 10 classic rock radio a full hour after the final little digital alarm clock went off. So they were thinking, we got them all. Now we can get some sleep. And then they get that nice, long, good sleep. And then here comes classic rock at 6 in the morning.
Want to hear what it sounded like?
Yeah. I forgot this was the song. Yeah, and I think this was right at 5:30.
Yeah.
And it was real fuzzy sounding, too, because we had it cranked so high, the speaker couldn't take the volume.
So all night, we're sitting outside while after about every 15 minutes, these alarms are going off, and Corby and I are out their door just crying, laughing.
And there was a point
and
in there.
You can hear them yelling and cussing.
What is going on? What is happening in here?
Apart.
Yeah. And there were 2 times when they couldn't find where the one alarm was and the other one went off.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, what the hell? There's another one? They're both going off, and they're both on chairs trying to look for them.
And if you remember, at one point, the hammer just gave up and went to sleep. And remember, we were recording all of this audio through their door with a mini disc, and you could audibly, over alarm clocks and air conditioners, could hear the hammer fart.
That's right.
That's where the Husky Hugger power fart came
That's
from.
right. Through a door, through a horrible 1950s World War II surplus air conditioner, and you heard him fart.
Burk!
Like
one of those
super
big ones.
loud. And then, man, when we met them for breakfast, I think, at 9 in the morning.
Johnny's.
Yeah.
Breakfast.
They come walking in, and he comes walking in, Mike does, with this look of Satan, like ready to freaking explode. I was like,
You were not happy. You were not only mad, you were sleepy.
Yeah, you were you don't sleep good anyway. And then with 20 alarm clocks going off in the middle of the night.
What was that experience like? Just to let the P1 in.
It was not good. It was very well executed, though. Only the skydiving chief could do that. And boy, he did it.
Yeah.
And to this day, every time I hear that song, just for a tick, I go back to that place and remember thinking that, okay, we got them all. Now I can crash.
Got them all.
And then I hear that sound. The dusky dulcets of Christine McVie wafting through the room. Oh, God.
And, of course, and this is a whole nother subject, but Hammer's revenges were very bullyish. If we ever got a prank on him, his revenge, like you would think of a clever, well thought out prank. And his prank to you was he'd walk up and hit you on the kneecap with a crowbar, and break your leg,
or just walk
got
up right
your back,
and
pranked you,
slash your tire.
Yeah,
have fun.
Like, real mean.
It's not that bad.
Well, I know I'm speaking in hyperbole, but his revenge on us the next night was to sneak into our room while we were away and put raw fish in our bed. There was shrimp and like a catfish.
All under the pillow.
Yeah, like under the top sheet.
Not that bad.
It was under the top sheet. And I remember walking into our room after going out that night, just kind of walking in and I go, something's not right.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately. And I immediately just pulled back my bed, and there it is. Shrimp, fish, all kinds of seafood.
Cod.
Yeah. And what did we do to them? Remember?
What was it?
We took all that fish and shrimp and stuck it in their air conditioner vent.
Oh, yeah.
So the air that would go into their room was being filtered through fish. And all we did is walk down to the office and got new sheets, and it was no big deal.
Right.
It was literally a 5-minute inconvenience. And then you guys got fish air conditioning for the rest of the night.
That's the hammer.
I don't remember that being that bad.
You slept through anything the next night after Alarmgate.